and get things started. All right. Hello. I'm going to be greeting everyone just sort of like in the alphabetical order that we see here. We are playing Minute Marcher as submitted by Serpunj. So, Lumpy, hello. Can you introduce yourself and talk about your role on the project?
Hi, it's me. I'm Lumpy. I did some of the programming and design and also was responsible for turning all the levels that people were designing in Paint into the game.
Nice. All right. We've also got Novadet. How do you say your name?
Hello, Novadet. You can call me Devin.
Devin. Cool.
And I did the music, and well, not all the music, but I did 2 out of the 3 tracks that are in the game, and I did some of the programming.
All right, and then we've got Sai. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that.
Okay, we're good.
It's basically Speg. I'm just using another computer because I don't have a mic on the other one. Sorry for the confusion. But basically, I did a lot of the main game design, some level, well, mostly programming and game design, but I did some level design too. A lot of people did kind of many things in the project.
Yeah, I see. Lots of multiple roles on the project. Cool. We've got Speg.
Yeah, that's me again.
That was Speg.
Oh, I see. This is what you're saying about having to use different computers. Okay, so I can maybe just remove some confusion by dragging the other account. No, it won't let me.
I can just...
There we go. Got it. And then we've also got Phil Martin. Okay, yeah, so you were... I see, you're part of the team. Got it.
Yeah, hello. I did all the visuals of the game.
All right, fantastic. Well, I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves a bit, and I will actually open the game now. But I did see that because it's timing based, I'm probably going to do a terrible job at actually playing this one. So I can F to full screen, you said?
Yeah, that's it. But not on the tutorial, because that was put together at the end of the jam. Sorry for that.
It's alright. Oh, okay. It's just illustrating that I can take multiple moves to get through the... Okay, got it. Well, that's totally fine. In the meantime, while I play through the tutorial, we can launch into our first question and just sort of go down in order. Perhaps you can talk a little bit how you came up with the idea for this game.
Where did we start with this? I think the thing we settled on earliest is that we wanted there to be some kind of random number of moves for a puzzle, and and you had to figure out whether it was appropriate for the level that was shown.
Right.
Yeah. I don't remember how we got there, but we got to that point within pretty quickly, and then it took a long time to figure out what the level should actually be like and what the rules would be, because initially we were thinking about having an additional number rolled after you selected it that could randomize things, and it took a while to get down to where it was, I guess. Not a very good answer.
Yeah,
No,
it
but
wasn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
It wasn't until nearing the 24-hour mark that we really sort of solidified what we were going to do.
Just to quickly address that, yes, F does work to full screen, but the thing is, I do want to keep the Discord overlay so people can tell who's talking, so we'll have to put up with maybe a slightly smaller game window. Hope that's okay with everyone. And Crafterado, thank you for the follow. All right, so yeah, so when would you say is did the final idea emerge?
Probably 24, 26-ish hours before the jam ended.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a little bit of just basic prototype code and whatnot. But yeah, we changed it up a little bit to sort of simplify it because we ran into some problems,
Yeah.
and our original idea was kind of complicated. So we simplified it a little bit to make it easier to finish.
Oops, I think I said yes, but I meant to say no. I don't think it's possible to beat this level with only.
I'm remembering the progression better a bit now. We were initially just thinking, can you beat this level in this number of moves? Like, not whether it was the best solution, just can you do it? And that would mean, obviously, you would always want to look for big numbers and just skip past all the ones that have smaller numbers of moves, because you could always solve something if you had a ton of moves, right? And
Yes.
a lot of the design was focused on, it took us a while to get to the solution, basically, of just tell them to get the best solution rather than any solution. Like, we were initially thinking, like, oh, we'll have to make the levels really compact and make the squares you step on, like, turn into, like, the lava. So you can't go to where you've been, so you can't, like, stall. So that would, like, put a soft cap on how many moves you could use. Like, we were originally thinking of doing it that way and some other stuff. Yeah, when the idea to just tell the player to look for the best solution came about, that's pretty much when we were like, okay, this is good, and we're gonna actually run with that idea.
Okay. Oh, okay. That was the critical thing I was not understanding, is that, like, yes, I actually have to play the level once I have said yes, I can beat it in X number of moves.
Yeah. Since your like stream is so desynced with your audio here, I was just having a hard time telling where you are in the game.
Oh, I guess the wrong. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. I see. All right. Um, any like puzzle games? I don't do super well with those on stream. And then puzzle games that involve a time limit, I do even less well. But that's okay.
Yeah, you do kind of have to focus. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Well, again, it's more important to me that I focus on what's actually being said. So, anyway, so yeah, it's. I think I understand how to play now. Hello, that being 17. Yeah, it's been going good. We're doing a game developer interview right now with the makers of Minute Masher. I'll drop the link in chat in case anyone else would like to play it right now. It's a cool, like, I guess the levels aren't randomly generated, right? Like, you are.
Yeah,
there's
just a bunch of them.
Right.
It's around like 50 to 55-ish for each difficulty. We had several friends helping us just like mass produce levels to make sure there would be enough that you wouldn't like memorize everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that the phrasing like on best solution using a certain number of moves makes more sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, or 1, 2, 3. 4. Yeah, I think yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a match. Cool. There's a question from. Again, I don't know how to say that username. Is it like Kun K? What inspired you to make a game this amazing? Was it hard to withhold how well this game was programmed? I don't exactly understand the question, but
I think that's a friend, and I don't understand her question either. She might be making a poke at her programming skills, which are not that great, but it's okay.
Oh man, I mean, I I need to demonstrate that I can get a score of better than 1 at this point. But also, I just wanted to say, that being 17, thank you so much for the Prime subscription. Super appreciate that. You'll have to give me some time to actually like update the recent sub graphic, because that's something I have to do manually. I'll have to do that as soon as the interview's over. But yeah, so if we can get into the actual development process, we'll sort of springboard off of that question there. But yeah, I guess if everyone could just sort of talk a little bit about like how they worked through everything, just one at a time. It's just again starting with you, Lumpy.
I think Speg, if he's here, I think he should start. Or if he doesn't want to talk, that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I can start. Well, do you mean like how it started and like just the whole process?
Yeah, I guess let's just like go like start to finish. How did it work? How did you put things together?
Yeah, because like we said earlier, it's like we started with kind of a different concept, and it was a bit well. Basically, a lot of people weren't convinced with the idea, and it was like they trusted the ones that gave the idea to be able to execute it, but eventually we kind of just we we found no solution for a while, and then at one point, finally, we got something. It was like to basically simplify everything, and I mean, usually that's how you solve things. You make them simpler, and then you can actually do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, from this point on, then we were able to do something actually like to be efficient, because before it was really slow and kind of messy. Like, yeah, it wasn't really pleasant to work on the first build of the game, if we can even call it a build. So yeah, then
the project file got like corrupted or something, right? Because we started because when we came up with the new idea, we just like started scratch from a new project file, and there was only like a little bit of code that was actually reusable.
Ouch.
Yeah, but
So-
honestly, that was fine, because then we were able to. I mean, it just feels great to be able to make something that isn't a mess. Just that.
So what necessitated the restart?
I think basically the whole code was based on the first idea, and it was just kind of simpler to start over, because if we didn't start over, there was already a lot that was done, but just not that we couldn't use. So it would have been even more of a mess if we just built over that.
Got it. Yeah.
But yeah, after that, it became a lot simpler, and we kind of just, I mean, we did it. I mean, once we had the base idea, it was kind of smooth, and the levels were being built while we were programming.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing, we used GameMaker to program this. And the good thing about GameMaker, a lot of game engines, is that you can kind of code something on your side and then give it to the team. So basically, Lumpy was programming all the levels in the game. Like people were doing level design on Paint, basically Paint or other stuff, and then Lumpy was making them in the game engine. And then he gave me these levels, and I could put them with the rest of the game.
Yeah, GameMaker has a nice feature where you can like code create local package, where you can just make a package of some rooms or resources or whatever, and then someone else can import them. And as long as like both project files have like the same like objects and stuff that are being used in the rooms, like it's fine that I don't have the most updated project file and it's not like synced.
Yeah, that's a really interesting approach. I mean, because I'm working in Gamer Studio version 1, and there was a similar thing where you could just drag files out of other projects and drop them in, and as long as the sprite existed in that same project, it would just like all click together. But in your experience, does GameMaker play nice with Git, or just like no?
We haven't tried. That's the thing. Like none of us have used Git. This is just kind of our convoluted way of doing work in parallel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically guaranteed not to get merge conflicts. So you're always packaging up your work in these safe little versions that you can send to each other. So if it works for you, then better to avoid the headache of running into merge conflicts for sure. We do have another question coming in from Kun-K. What was the biggest change, if any, to gameplay from prototype to release that you think really clicked to make it fun? Or was the gameplay well received from inception?
Well, the weird thing about this game is that the core gameplay didn't change, because the core gameplay, the core gameplay to me is guessing before you actually play. But in reality, usually when you say core gameplay, that's what you play. So it would be like the rook moving across the screen, you know. But this didn't change. The base puzzles didn't change. Although at first it's true that we weren't sure how to do the best solution thing. So initially, well, the game would like kill tiles. Like when you walked on tiles, they would become lava, stuff like that. But outside of that, nothing changed. But
We
the thing,
should.
yeah,
So I was gonna say we should probably mention where the movement came from, right?
true.
Because when we were thinking about how the character should move, right? Because if you want to count moves, obviously, if you're just moving tile by tile, then you're just counting tiles, and that's really boring.
Yeah.
So, and then we briefly toyed with the idea of having it be like you know, in Pokemon when you slide on the ice, you keep going,
Yes.
like moving like that. We thought about doing it like that for a bit, and then the movement it is now, which is like kind of like a rook in chess, you know.
Yeah.
There's a game, basically. There's a game with this movement where you can move like a rook called Super Blocky that Speg made like a really long time ago that like never got finished. But so that provided like coincidentally, we could just do it like that. And since our friend group was familiar with that old game, since we've been friends for a while, that kind of helped with the intuition for knowing how to make levels. None of the mechanics in this are actually the same as Super Blocky, besides the fact that you can just like move and hit walls. Although I guess you haven't seen the other mechanics yet, actually, because you're still doing the beginner levels.
Get good is what I'm hearing.
There's only two. There's only two.
You're doing good. Three Flames is pretty hard. Like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not like you have to unlock them. But you are doing pretty good now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely, like, I between recognizing levels, oh, there was a solution that used less moves. Okay, that's fine. Because the funny thing, like as you were mentioning it, I wanted to bring this up, but I have also made a game based on those like same Pokemon,
like the sliding ice puzzle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was something that I made for the low res jam last year, where you've got this little character that just basically like always moves at maximal distance. So it's sort of like a timing challenge based on like how like it's
real time. Interesting. That's kind of fun.
Yes, exactly. So it's like partially a puzzle in terms of like some of the levels are more puzzles than others, and then others are like more based on the reaction speed. Because I was trying to design essentially, and this is what you've done as well, which I think is really cool. I was trying to design a puzzle game that would still be interesting to play like more than once. Something that you could like watch someone play, but then
still have fun doing it on your own.
Exactly.
That's kind of cool, actually.
So yeah, that's the idea behind Wait Warp. In case anyone is curious, drop a link, and we'll get back to. Okay, score is 7. How does that compare to the average player?
Pretty good. Once you hit 10, basically you get a golden cup. But like 7 is pretty close to 10. 10 is where the timer doesn't. It stays the same afterward.
My brother's best was 6.
Okay. 7's pretty close to 10. You heard it here. All right. Okay, so then maybe we could talk a little bit more about the art side of things. How did there's a lot of fancy effects here that I'm assuming. How many of these were like actually created for the jam itself? Because there's like visual effects and then there's actual artwork, right?
Pretty much all of it, right?
Yeah.
I think actually the selection thing, like the red select square, I think we had that from before, but that was it.
Did we? I'm not even sure.
No, we didn't.
Maybe...
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And all of that was done by just Tom Martin, basically.
Yeah, Tom Martin's great.
He carried the art.
Yeah, he's crazy.
So the visual effect that's happening, like this like fluid dynamic simulation happening behind the number of moves, though.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay. So for these ones, I looked on internet and I converted the GIFs with the right colors and stuff to make it fit the game better.
Oh wow, because I thought like I have actually seen a game maker asset that does that like fluid dynamic simulation, but this is just like an
I tried to
animation.
look for that, but I didn't find anything. So I used already existing GIFs
Nice.
that I edited after.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, it looks like super super fancy.
Thank you.
And what do you actually use to create the artwork for the game?
I used Asprite. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
Yeah, A Sprite S, yeah,
Asprite,
something
yes.
like that. Yeah.
Mhm. And for the 3D cube, you see when you roll the dice,
Yeah.
the die, it's from PicoCAD, I think.
Huh.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but I can write it in the chat.
Yeah, for sure.
But
PicoCAD. It's a program.
yes, it's a bit hard to use at first, but I wanted to try.
It's like the Pico 8 of 3D modeling programs, right? Something like
Yes,
that.
yes. Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. Yeah, and it looks really fancy. So these are all just like GIFs that you've imported into GameMaker.
Yeah.
Wow.
There
And
was
this is
gonna there was gonna be animated lava too, but we didn't have like time to get it in because the normal auto tiling thing that Game Maker does like doesn't work with animated sprites for some reason. I
Does it?
think Speg knows about that. All I know is that when he tried to put it in, it didn't work, and then we just didn't have time.
Hmm.
I think it's possible to like do both auto tiling and animation, but I just couldn't find it because I'm really like, I guess I'm not really good at programming, and it's been a while, so I was kind of still finding the features.
Yeah. Like usually he likes to focus as much on the game design as we can, and a couple of our friends that wanted to pitch in just for programming ended up being like unavailable. So we didn't have like our peak programming talents available.
Mhm.
Like me and Devin like don't usually do programming, but we just kind of did what we could, and between everybody it ended up okay. But yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's a like overall a cool concept that is like decently simple to understand. Like it took me a couple tries to really get like how the flow of the gameplay worked, but then once you get into the swing of it, yeah, like it's an incredibly like well polished presentation and everything. Like it's yeah, just like simple idea executed super well. So well done.
Thanks.
By the way,
Thank you.
Do you have the sound on?
I do. It might just be a little quiet
Okay.
as far as the stream is audio. I just want to make sure it's not competing with anyone's voice, but it is there. I turned it up a bit.
Yeah, I tried. I have the stream muted, and I just turned it up, and I couldn't hear it. Yeah, I think the proud of what we did with the sound. So just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. He's the music guy, and like
Yep.
sound design.
Well, I would hope everyone is giving the game a download to try it themselves, and then they can hear the music and actually play it in full screen as intended. I imagine. But yeah, actually, do you want to take a little bit a moment to talk about the like music creation process?
Yeah, it wasn't super complex. I just kind of did like something that you hear in like Mario Party or something. I think the little piece of sound design I think it works the best in the game. The voices as you sort of move. It's a suggestion by Speg. Yeah, I think I like that. I think there's a sort of I'm happy with it because I think there's a sort of dynamicness to the way the sound is in the game. It's kind of like I don't know. There's a rhythm. Like you got the dice roll and then psh, and then music starts. You get playing and it's like gets a little more intense.
Someone said it was game show
Countdown
esque.
comes. Yeah,
Sorry?
sort of like game show esque, like a quiz show.
Yes,
or
I
something.
can hear it.
Yeah, which wasn't something that we were thinking. Probably should have, because then we could have themed it a little bit more to that. But yeah, I think didn't this title wasn't made by me, but
Yeah, remember
and
when we were gonna theme this around Tinder?
Oh,
yeah, we
no.
were gonna do that at some point.
That's the only remnant of that is the use of the word match.
Yeah, that was gonna
That's
be
where that
the
came
idea.
from.
It's like your dating puzzle. The playing of the puzzle is like going on a date with it. That was the idea.
It's funny.
But yeah.
So how long did that idea last before it became reworked?
Well, we just kind of like it just kind of sort of naturally fizzled out because I don't think we were all sort of like
Yeah. And not everybody was all into it, and also Tom
Yeah.
wasn't really sure what to do with it, I think.
yeah. We
Yes,
didn't,
I just went with what I started, and it didn't look like Tinder at all. But we kept it like that.
kind of has like electronic. It kind of has sort of like an electronic like factory sort of theme, which is just kind of I don't know. Phil Martin doing just making something because we weren't really like
Doing what he knows how to do fast.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I do think it fits quite well. Man, some of these levels, like this is the easiest difficulty. And do you just like lose time on each successive level of difficulty?
Yeah. I think one thing that I personally would have changed is maybe like made because I think like on the first intensity you can see the little flames on the bottom. I think the first intensity is I keep my mic keeps looking like it's cutting out. The first intensity is pretty good. It gives you a lot of time to think. But then it gets pretty fast pretty quickly, and then I think it's kind of like you just have to sort of, I don't know, it gets a little too fast too quickly.
Yeah, maybe a bit slower would have been good.
It was faster originally, like at
Oh my
first.
goodness.
It was so fast before.
Yeah,
I mean, that sounds like the person who made the level knew how to solve it really quickly.
Yep.
probably. Well, that's the funny thing. Personally, because I didn't like work on the importing level design and things, I did some level design, like the tutorial, which isn't that good. We did it at the end, but yeah, I didn't know the levels. Like I programmed the main games. I did the programming and stuff, but I didn't know the levels. So I actually kind of discovered the game when we finally finished it, and that was cool.
Yeah, that helped you tune like how fast the timer should be and stuff.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Because like I couldn't have
there's-
done that because I memorized like all the solutions in the process of like putting them in the game.
I think you do kind of have to account for like learning the mechanics because the sort of concept is not something that's like doesn't click immediately. You kind of have to get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think there definitely has to be time for a person to sort of understand what the heck is even going on.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think we can move on to the next question then, which is, do you have a useful shortcut or a clever hack in each of the programs that you worked in, by the way, that you might want to recommend to others? So, GameMaker first, I guess.
I mentioned the create local package import package thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the most useful thing. Like we discovered that like while we were working on it, and that was the most useful thing. It ended up being really good.
Yeah, I wonder if GameMaker Studio 2, like you can just drag and drop the assets like you can in Studio 1.
We kind of tried, and it didn't really work, right, Speg?
It didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do the create local package import local package thing.
Yeah, and maybe it helped in corrupting the file when we did that. I don't even know.
Ah, man. Yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
More engines need to do, like, I don't know how Unreal works, but with Unity, the reason it works so well with GitHub is because the engine really doesn't care if you just drop assets or modify assets. like bring in new assets, whether you're doing that via a Git pull or whether you're doing that by just like dragging and dropping something into a folder.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it would make Game Maker so much easier to use over Git, but at least in the early version of Game Maker Studio 1, like it had that simplicity of just being able to drag and drop like scripts, objects, sprites, whatever I want from one project to another, and that's why I still love that. That's why I still use the original version of Game Maker, because it has that like quick, rapid prototyping feel to it.
Yeah, the drag and drop thing just doesn't really work in Game Maker 2.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Git for the win, as Lurk Not Lie says. All right, so that is a fantastic recommendation for Game Maker, absolutely. So art-wise, in Sprite, any suggestions, recommendations there?
Not really. I don't know what to say.
Okay, yeah. It's basically just if you had something in mind that, what? Oh, this is weird. Hang on. Oh, you know what? I was expecting WASD to work, but it doesn't.
Oh yeah, no. We didn't have time to really implement a lot.
We should have added that.
Yeah, we should have. Oh, by the way, have you tried expert difficulty? Just, just to see.
Sure, why not? Oh,
Give it at least
oh
one.
yeah, these are the actual like stuff that I was taught in the tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These do get tricky though.
Yup.
Oh, I think this one is supposed to work. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Not possible, I'm guessing.
The one I'm
Wow.
seeing stream currently is possible, I think.
Whoops. Too bad
Yeah,
then.
Oh, this one though. That's no.
Man, I should not have skipped straight to expert. I it's been too long since I did the tutorial, and now I can't remember.
Oh, well, the panels just send you, well, basically all over the room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the blue arrows they send you to, like, you keep going until you hit a wall or the
Yeah.
border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just mean like I remember how they work, but I'm not okay. So I one well, either way. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
you
not
gotta get
possible
the
to use.
intuition for it.
Yeah.
You only need to press on the buttons once, by the way.
Yeah. You only need to touch them, and then they stay unlocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this one is possible. There we go. Got it. Wow. This is gonna be real tough. All right, and then I don't know. Music-wise, I wasn't sure if there's any tips or suggestions.
No, not really.
Okay, fair. So I think I get a chance at this. So 1, and then there. Okay, so I did actually solve that one with the 3 moves. All right. Well, do you have any plans for the game going forward?
Probably not, because usually we have plans for, like, when we do a game for Jam, we're like, okay, we want to add all this, but the truth is we never kind of go back to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we got used to that idea. Like this year, we were like, okay, this is good as a small game, and I'm sure like there's a ton of things we could expand on and make this a bigger game. But I think we're also kind of happy with the state it's at here. Maybe we can do a small bug fix update and add some minor improvements, because there's a lot of things that could get better, but like there's nothing planned making this a big full game.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty satisfied with what we have personally. I could use some polishes though, but yeah.
Yeah, this thing is like good for a game jam in scope, I think, because if you wanted it to be a bigger game, you would need to have either like thousands of levels or like procedural level generation, right? Like so once you expand the scope a little bit, like the amount of work increases a lot, I think.
Yeah.
because right now the amount of levels is like good, but only if you're not playing for longer than like maybe like 30 minutes or something to an hour at most, probably. Because then you start seeing the same ones over and over again, and you start remembering.
Yeah.
And also, with the mechanics we have, like, there's only so many levels you can do with those, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, adding more mechanics, I don't think that's a problem. I mean, that's kind of what we did with Super Blocky.
That's true.
But yeah. But something like the funny thing is that we could do different version of the game too, because initially we had multiple ideas, and like something that was kind of cool, but that we didn't do because it didn't fit the jam was like you would say if a level is possible or not, but you wouldn't play it right away. Instead, it would store it, and eventually you would create your little dungeon of like 10 levels or something that you would play in a row. That was kind of cute. But
that's right. We were gonna do that at first.
But that was just a bit too much for the jam. And if you were like, it could be frustrating if you didn't know how it worked and you just picked a bad level right away, and then you picked more levels, and then you would have played for like
it would make the learning curve just like take longer, and people would like quit early.
Exactly.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think you made the right call. I think it all, like, as you said, like there's maybe a few like small things that you could do to adjust like for a post jam version, but it holds together incredibly well as like a complete experience. So if anyone has any questions from chat, now is the time to ask them. But otherwise, I guess we'll just start going through and asking where can people find you on social media, and do you have any other projects you'd like to plug? So once again, just going in alphabetical order here, Lumpy.
Speg is kind of like the head of all of our stuff that we do together, so you should start with him.
Okay.
Because
Speg.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, we're kind of a group now. As in, I mean, we do a lot of projects together, so we have like a name that's kind of us.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, yeah, we have a shared account, so I'm gonna share that. I think that's it. I share it on the chat, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. And it's basically a SpegCorp. It's named. We're not a corporation, but it's just kind of a funny name.
Sure.
And so find it. All right. Profile. Okay. So yeah, that's the account. And on here we're gonna try to do. Well, every year we kind of do the GMTK game jam. And that's the only thing we did so far. So we have like 4 games, but they're all from the GMTK game jam. But now we're gonna try to expand a little more. And Super Blocky, for example, I'm gonna try to get more people from the team to help me with this and finish it actually. So this would come out, for example. And then that's kind of our team account.
Nice.
Outside of that, I have another account that's just my personal account where I do, well, I guess for now Super Blocky is on there, and then other things, because most of us are part of another community that's actually Geometry Dash, and that's a game that has a level editor in it, and that's kind of how we all met up. We're all creator from this game.
Yeah, that's like how we know each other.
Yeah, and so this is my, I guess, personal account, but also like it's all my projects that aren't from SpegCorp, basically. Okay, but yeah, that's it.
Awesome. All right. So now we go alphabetical order, I guess. Lumpy.
Oh yeah. I don't really have anything I feel the need to plug. I'll just put my Twitter account as well there.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Devin.
I'm good. I'm kind of inactive on most public spaces right now.
That's totally fair.
I'm good.
All right. And Martin?
Yes, it's the same for me. I'm very inactive on Twitter and everything. So yeah.
That's totally fine. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming on and sharing this project. If you do have another jam that you end up participating in down the line, or even that Super Blocky, am I getting the name right? Sorry.
Yep. Super Blocky.
Cool. Yes. Okay. Yeah, if you would like to share an in-progress version of that, I'd be more than happy to take a look at it, offer some feedback, and just sort of like talk through it as it goes. So But yeah, thank you so much for submitting Minute Matcher. This was a lot of fun, and thanks all for coming on and doing the interview.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks
for your
for having
feedbacks.
us.
Absolutely. Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye.